Alright guys, so for my video it is third and final beer tasting then here at Cape May Brewing Company. For Paul's video,
7th, 8th, 9th, 20th, who knows?
yeah. Alright,
Alright,
well, yeah.
scoot on over here.
Oh yeah, I should come a bit closer because
Scoot on over
we
here.
like Paul,
We're at Cape May.
Yeah,
Can you see Cape
yeah,
May?
Cape May.
Cape May Brewing in our own private section of the villa where all the barrels are. We're aging with the barrels.
I think that's fair,
The
yeah.
beer is in us and we're aging.
I like that philosophy. I do like that
I
philosophy.
do like that. We are cobblers of our own right.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I think that's fair.
So we have a Marzen here, an Oktoberfest coming in at 5.6% alcohol by volume from Cape May Brewing Company over here at Cape May, New Jersey, and we are going to enjoy this one. Let's check it out.
Yeah. So, appearance-wise, it's kind of what you'd expect.
It looks a little bit darker on camera than in reality, but like honestly, on camera it looks epic.
I think on your camera it probably looks about the right color,
your
but then on
camera
mine it looks a bit darker.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm looking at your camera. It looks a bit darker, but this is on point. Yeah, absolutely. My camera's on point on that one. A nice golden, almost like honey hue to it.
Yeah, it's like a sort of unstained mahogany color.
Just a golden honey hue, unstained mahogany, as you said before.
Quite a bit of active carbonation as well.
It's almost like pine sap.
Yeah, but yeah, I get lots of active carbonation if you look at it. Pretty crystal clear. You can see my fingers behind the glass there. It looks good. Put a hat, just maybe a 2/3 finger of a frothy cream fawn coloured head. Yeah,
and the head retention is proper because it's not even fading at all. It's holding really nicely. That just shows the nice oils underneath are holding it up. So nice malt base underneath. So.
Yeah, I think in terms of what you would expect from a Märzen, this is pretty much it. So the story of the Märzen as a style, März is German for March. Back in the day in Germany, it was illegal to brew beer during the summer months. So what they would do is they would brew a lager beer in March that would sit in the rock cellars and mature, and it would be released in October for Oktoberfest. So that is how Märzen became associated with Oktoberfest.
And remember, lager is distilled.
Yeah, exactly. Lagers need longer fermentation temperatures, or longer fermentation times anyway. So yeah, the Märzen is basically a lighter, more biscuity, but still slightly boozy lager beer. I mean, they come in about 5.5–6% at a minimum.
Of course, I love the double box.
Oh yeah, we do love the double box.
But we will get a proper Marzen and appreciate it when we can.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, the Märzen, the very first one I think was Augustiner. Märzen. Augustiner was the one that really started, and the beer style was brewed to celebrate the marriage of the Duke of Bavaria's son to a duchess or something like this. I'm not sure, but it was the marriage of one of the Duke of Bavaria's sons to a daughter. Yeah, but yeah, it's a lager beer style. I think we've covered everything we need to say about the mini history of the style. But yeah, looks good. Will we look at the nose?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Subtle, soft. It is cold. It was just tapped.
That's we had the Helles earlier. We tried the Helles together. That what we said about that is the aroma of that beer was really authentic, and this one is potentially more authentic than that. You definitely get one of the main differences between American lagers is of course the difference in the malts, because a lot of American brewers will use American malts. The German malts are just that bit drier and more crisp than their American counterparts. But yeah, I think this one is potentially more authentic.
It's subtle, but I'm getting earthy. I'm getting a little bit of that kind of like toasted brown bread quality where it's a little bit drier. There is a nuance of caramel. It's not sweet caramel. It's more of that kind of burnt sugar kind of mixing in there. It's very subtle, but it's nice. There's a little bit of an earthiness.
Yeah.
And even a subtle, I say it, a subtle fall leaf coming out of this.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, for me, if I go through it in my kind of order of thinking, fresh, like brown bready bread crust, pumpernickel bread.
Ooh, deep pumpernickel.
Pumpernickel bread. a lighter wholemeal brown bread on top of that. There's a bit of woody and nutty character to this one as well, but that again is quite minimal. Slightly toasty caramel, but not too dark.
No.
So toasty caramel.
Not treacle.
No, definitely not treacle. No. A sweeter kind of caramelly honey sort of thing. So that's definitely like a sweeter caramelly honey note.
Yep.
And then you've also got this little bit of like McVitie's digestive biscuit in here.
Right there with that treat, that honey you said, and that little bit of toast. I almost get a bran, like a very soft toasted bran in there, but it's a very nice smell.
You know what it reminds me of? Is Honey Nut Cheerios.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah. On the hoppy side of things, it's typical German noble hops, smooth earthiness, a little bit of herbal character, nice floral aromaticity, a little bit of grassiness as well. All typical German noble hop qualities. Fruity wise, pear. I took a little bit of that in my nose. That was not nice.
It's a little bit too subtle for me to pull any fruits out of this.
For me, pear, sultana, very light apricot. Apart from the sniff up the nose, it's kind of what you'd expect from the style, to be honest with you.
I think I'm going to have to dig in and get deeper.
I think we need to dig into this one.
Absolutely.
So our last beer here at Cape May, Oktoberfest 5.6.
Yep.
Slanja, Prost. Ooh, very smooth beer.
I would say the Sultana apricot thing.
Oh yeah.
Way in the back.
Yeah.
It's right under that caramel.
It's a very, very smooth beer, this one, actually.
It's a well-made Oktoberfest.
It's, for me, it's the same as we had with the Helles. It's just a bit wetter.
Oh yeah.
It's a bit wetter and not quite as crisp as you would find in Germany, but still.
Look at that lacing though.
Oh yeah, it holds. I have to say that it holds its
its
head very
head
well.
like amazing. There's an oiliness to this beer that I really enjoy. There is a nice brown bread, a little bit of toasted bread crust, almost like the honey wheat again.
Yeah.
I'll pull that back out. Honey wheat brown bread crust. That is a nice little bit of earthiness walking through this palate. And again, fall leaf coming out again. This is a nice beer.
Yeah, this is it's solid. This one, it has a little bit of a more kind of ale vibe to it.
It does.
Yeah, it has a little bit of an ale vibe to it because of how smooth and how oily, and it's almost a bit creamy as well, to be honest with you. So you maybe could
actually, going to Scotland, it reminds me of a little bit of the Frock.
Oh, the Freya Heather Ale.
The Heather Ale a little bit. That has that kind of like that smooth malt base in the background with a little bit of that floral tonality, and it has that kind of oiliness, as you said too.
Yeah. Funnily enough, I was just going to say that it had a little bit of a Czech Letsak character. You know, the more ambery Czech lager.
Really?
Because the Czech lagers are always that little bit more creamy and smooth. So this one does have a little bit more of that Czech amber lager quality.
I just had some of that the Grozek. Was it the Grozek from the Williams Brothers?
Grozek, the elderberry.
Yeah. And that had a vibe that reminds me a little bit of this. There's a little bit of that ale vibe that reminds me of this a little bit, and I really appreciate that. Yeah. It has this thing is just kind of singing a traditional style, and I really enjoy that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I mean, if we break the flavour down, the backbone of the beer, fresh, brown bready bread crust, like a sweet sort of pumpernickel-y bread, a lighter wholemeal brown bread on top of that. Then there's a layer of like a slightly toasty caramel in the centre of your palate, an oily sweet straight up caramel bubble. Then you get a layer of like McVitie's digestive biscuit, I think. Yeah, lovely woody kind of nutty sort of thing with it.
Absolutely.
Bit minimal. That it's not a big component of the flavour. It's more of a subtlety that. Anything else to say about the malty yeasty side of the thing?
I really like that there's that kind of just there's a breadiness that's coming from the yeast as well or something. And there's a little bit of like that kind of if you ever smelled bread that wasn't baked yet, it's coming through there as well. It's kind of like that airy bread kind of tonality. Before when you rip it open and before it's baked, before you put it in the oven, it's got a little bit of that where there's that flour kind of tonality mixing with that airy bread. That's coming through here. We got that honey wheat quality. We have that kind of nice toasted, as you said, pumpernickel. Good call on that one. We have that kind of woody nuttiness. There's a nice earthy pepperiness, a little bit of fall leaf category. Maybe I'm thinking of that. Maybe that fresh baked bread thing is making me think of that kind of that fall time when we are putting stuff in the oven, trying to warm up the house, baking some goods, you know what I mean, that kind of thing. But this is the head retention on this and lacing is absolutely fantastic. The pepperiness I find very, very enjoyable of this. The earthy, spicy pepperiness of this I find amazingly enjoyable.
I mean, the malt base and the yeasty side of things of the beer is really nicely done. I would agree there. For me, this is like what we said about the Helles. It maybe just needs a little bit more hoppiness to it. You get a little bit of earthiness, a little bit of sort of woody herbal character, and as you move further forward you get a wee bit more floral aromaticity as you move toward the front corners of the palate, and then the grassiness around the front curve of the tongue. What I would say though is that the green component it's quite smooth and slightly oily. It just needs to be that little touch more bitter and dry to be really authentic as a Märzen. Yeah.
Still crushable. Still a crushable beer.
It's almost as if it's cask conditioned rather than conditioned. That's what it reminds me of.
It's strange that you say that because you know I could see that, but kind of funny that because we do this stuff like that. We put a Keller beer on cask when we shouldn't. Because we do that here.
That's just America, you know. We
do that here.
Yeah. Fruity side then, front third of the palate. The bread crust is underneath. Brown bread, the sort of pumpernickel bread, the lighter brown bread, then that oily bubble with the fruity esters.
I would give notes of apricot underneath. Absolutely.
Apricot, I think, is that works for me. At the back of the front third of your palate, like sultana,
almost marmalade.
I can see that. Yeah, maybe they're using sapphire in this one.
Oh, that would be interesting.
German noble hop that gives you this little bit of orangey character. That wouldn't surprise me in here.
It almost seems like condensed under that last bit, and then like it's right under there.
Yeah.
It doesn't explode, but there's nuance. So.
Yeah, I could really see sapphire in this one. At the back of that front third of your palate, you have sultana, oily pear as you move further forward. The apricot's kind of underneath the oily pear. Then you do get this little marmalade-y orangey sort of thing, which really makes me think German sapphire. Really interesting hop, that 4% alpha acid gives you big kind of oily orange notes. Would not surprise me.
I think this beer's a winner.
I think it's good. Maybe just a little touch more bitterness.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. I'm going 8.5 on this one.
You know, I could agree with that. Just give it a little bit more hoppy bitterness, and I think it would be solid.
This beer, this was a little bit cleaner, a little bit more hoppy bitterness, just to round it up. I think we'd have a contender for one of the best Oktoberfest we had if they just tighten that up.
Yeah. Oh, that's
this would be better than probably some of the big heavy hitters of American Oktoberfest.
Yeah, because the malty and yeasty side, which is arguably the most important component of a Märzen, that's pretty much bang on. It just needs the hoppy side tightened up a little bit. Yeah. Mouthfeel wise, top end of light bodied, smooth carbonation, light but slightly oily and slick.
Yeah.
IBU 20.
I'd say 30.
But yeah, it's got a bit of dryness to it, which I think might push it up. Malt base, bit dry underneath, smooth in the middle, sweeter on top, then an oily, fruity note to this. But that is a very solid Oktoberfest Märzen.
Very enjoyable. Well, I have been thoroughly impressed with Cape May. I have been thoroughly impressed.
Yeah.
I mean, every beer that I've had from them basically has been an 8 or above. Basically, I think the Helles was kind of like in the solid category, the 7.5-ish or something like that. But like everything else, especially that stout that we had on cask, was bang on.
I mean, these guys have got a very good reputation from what I gather.
Yeah, and a nice establishment as well.
Oh yeah, the folk behind the bar are nice. It's just a shame we actually, for our last beer, we wanted to do. They had a coffee stout on cask, which Paul enjoyed a pint of. we were going to finish off with getting some half pints of that, but unfortunately that was done, so we went with the Oktoberfest beer.
Luckily, I gave him some of mine, so he got a chance to enjoy it.
I did get a little chance to try it. It was lovely, but I don't regret trying this as well.
It's very nice. I love when you really, really think about it. You really take a time to listen to it and talk to the beer, dive into it, like kind of like layer it out, like a book. You do get those little subtle hints of that marmalade and stuff under the very bottom of it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And
really nicely done.
This was nice done. But I would say, I would like a little crisper body to this one.
Yeah, this one really does pour a little bit more like a cask ale, but it's genuinely malt base wise. It's one of the
that head.
Yeah, I mean, it retains like a cask.
What a great beer.
Yeah.
It's a well-brewed beer. They do well-brewed beers. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Yeah. Just little small tiny things, but because it's like the beer, when you try the beer from Cape May, it's like one part of it is done really, really well, but you just notice, it needs that little bit, this one needs that little bit more hoppy bitterness, and it was the same. So these guys would be an awesome lager producer with just a little bit more hoppiness.
And they obviously, you're not on the other side of the camera, but they obviously have a nice barrel system going too.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that.
Yeah, there wasn't many in the shop that were barrel beers, but yeah. Be interesting.
Yeah, I'm thoroughly happy we stopped down here, and I hope you are too.
Me too. Yep, definitely. I think we can leave it at that for this one, eh? Yeah,
absolutely.
All right, so this was Oktoberfest, 5.6% ABV. My camera's stopped filming for some reason.
That's okay. This has been Paul.
This is James from Rampant Lion Reviews.
Here we are.
And catch you guys in a second with something else.
Cheers. Watch that finger. Here it comes.
Cheers.